The first thing to know about using Litematica is that the tool for this mod is just a default stick. So as you hold Control while holding onto the stick and then use the scroll wheel, you can cycle through the different modes of the stick. To open the Litematica menu, just press M. The first thing we're going to do is go to the configuration menu, go to hotkeys, and then put a hotkey in for execute operation. I choose mine to be J+K, as I don't have that bound to anything else. Execute operation is what will allow us to paste builds into the world. We can change our rendering, so this will allow us to see all of the layers of a build at once, one layer at a time, all layers in a certain range, layers below or layers above a certain axis. I usually choose all below. Then you can press M, go to Load Schematics, load in your schematic of choice, and it will be placed from the initial corner of it. You can right-click to move the placement, and you can also hold Alt while on Paste Schematic in World or Schematic Placement. If you hold Alt while moving the scroll wheel, the blueprint will move in the direction you are facing and the direction you're moving the scroll wheel. So you move it to the right, to the left, up, and back down. You can also change a schematic placement by going to Schematic Placements, Configure, and Rotate. You can change the rotation of the build however you want. You can also mirror it, and you can lock it if you've decided on a placement and don't want to accidentally move it. Also, from loading schematics, whatever you click on, it will tell you the total blocks used, the total volume of the build, the enclosing size, and the material list. The material list tells you how many of each block are in the build, and there's a nice conversion to how many stacks and how many shulker boxes. You can middle click on any of the blocks in the build to either select it from your inventory, or if you're in Creative, to just pull it out of the Creative menu. You can then place the blocks in the pattern if you are in Survival, or you can press J+K to execute operation while being on the Paste Schematic in World selection of the stick, and that will execute the paste and put in the entire build at once. When following along a build in Survival, if you accidentally place the right block but in the wrong orientation or block state, it will show up as orange. If you place a block where an air block should be, it will show up magenta. And if you place a block in the wrong spot, it'll be red. So this is just to show you pressing J+K while on the Paste Schematic in World will paste the entire build into the world. We can then right-click to move the schematic again. And if we were, say, in Survival and we built this whole first layer, we can go into the Configuration menu, Render Layers, click to increase this, right-click to decrease to see the next layer one at a time, or we can press Page Up and Page Down. If we go to Mode Selection 1, this is Area Selection. If you want to create your own schematic, press M, press Area Selection Browser, New Selection, name your selection, we'll call this a mansion, and it will place a box where you are standing. You can move this while in the Mode 1 of 9 Area Selection, left click to move point 1, right click to move point 2, And again, these can be moved by holding Alt and moving the scroll wheel. Again, that is in the direction you are facing. So if we look down, hold Alt and scroll wheel back, we'll move it into the air. So to create a schematic, you're going to want to bound your entire build. If we don't want to include that layer of grass, we'll have to pull that first block up one. And then we can right-click in the back corner, since we selected the front corner. And then hold Alt and scroll up all the way to the top. And you should be able to clearly see what is in and what is out. The blocks will take on a slightly different haze. And as you can see, we've selected the entire build. Now to turn our selection into a schematic, we just need to press M, go to Area Editor, save our schematic. Then we can choose where to put it in our files, and then hit save. If you want to make different subregions of a build, say to include less air blocks or to include something that is oddly shaped, you can select a new subregion. We can name this Spire. And this will give us a new bounding box. So we can select just one spire with this. This way we wouldn't have to include all of the air blocks in this middle area. And you can do as many subregions as you want to refine the build and include as few air blocks as you desire. To remove any of these, go to the Area Selection Browser and delete them. And to remove a build schematic that is already there, just go to Loaded Schematics and click Unload. That is all for the very brief tutorial today for how to use Litematica.